Brand guidelines. What are they and why companies should have one? Let's get into it. A brand guideline is a document that companies use in order to talk about the different brand assets that they have. Usually, this includes logos, colors, fonts, and even the voice and tone of the brand. This document is very important for companies because it's almost like a roadmap that keeps all marketing materials cohesive and consistent across all mediums. Let's take a look at an example that I set up for a fictitious company called Taco Tuesday. In this example, we'll see a few elements come together for a brand guideline. Let's go. Starting with our cover here, you can see that I added the logo on the right, as well as adding brand guidelines on the bottom. This just helps to show what the document is going to have in it. I also added a few images on the page to help give a little bit more color on the layout. As well, on the bottom left, I added the decorative crunch text so that the whole layout feels cohesive. The next page I have here is our mission statement for the brand. I'd like to include this as the second page because it gives more information on the brand, also shows a quick tagline of what the brand is about. It's also just an interesting way to introduce the document. There are also other elements on the page that help to create a more dynamic layout, including images and then some patterns in the background on the full bleed color, as well as even just the little accent of the chip here, just to give more identity to the brand itself. Our next page is going to be our primary logo page. And as you can see, we have our color logo on the left and then our white logo on the right. This shows how the logo can look on a white background versus a colored background. On the left, you'll also see that we have our guide marks here. And I just took an element from the logo itself, which is the chip, and I turned it gray. And then I just added it around the logo to show what that minimum white space should be. Our next page here is our tertiary logo or our secondary logo. This is usually a smaller version of our primary logo, and it can be used on different assets. It can be used in the corner of maybe a little bit smaller on an ad. On the left, you can see the colored version on a white background, and on the right, you can see the white version on two different darker color backgrounds. The next page that I have set up here is our color page. This includes our primary colors and then our secondary colors. On the left, you can see our primary color called Taco Red Orange. And you can make this page a little bit more dynamic by creating the color elements out of different interesting aspects from the brand. So once again, I used that chip mark from our taco logo and I used it as our secondary color palette here. And it's just an interesting way of showing the colors. I also gave the colors a interesting name and it just makes it more dynamic on the page. Our next page is our font page. On this page, I typically show our different fonts, and then I would show whether or not it is a header font, a body copy font, or a decorative font. In this instance, we can see on the left that we have our header font as a 24-point font, and then our body copy as a 12-point. And then decorative is a varied size font. It can be used in different sizes across different marketing materials. Speaking of marketing materials, on the right, you can see an example using these different fonts. I like to set this up on the same page so that when someone is looking at the design guidelines, they can see how to best lay out their marketing material. And then this is our last page, our end page. I just have some brand images on the top as well as our logo. And then I'm including some of those design elements here as well. Another thing to note is that while we saw only a few things in these brand guidelines, you can also add other elements such as what not to do with a logo, or even go as far as like signage examples or marketing examples. but it just depends on how much you want to add. It could be as comprehensive or as short as you need it to be. The most important part is that every element in this brand guideline is consistent. All right, that's our video, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.